We're celebrating. It's 5 years. We're rolling on the road. We're rolling on the road. 100 shades of diversity. We're rolling on the road. Oh, rolling on the road. We're rolling on the road. 100 shades of diversity. We're rolling on the road. Take it away.
I just love that. Good afternoon. You are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly, and I am so excited today. Well, I get excited anytime that I hear the intro because I call my cousin twin, and we're related for real. We're blood relatives for real. And I said, it's 5 years. I need a new theme song, and in 5 minutes, she sent that back. I just love it. Just love her. I just love her. But good afternoon. Today we are going to delve right back into part 2 of this Protect Medicaid. And we're looking at the least, the last, the lost of the folks that is really going to affect. You've seen her before. Her name is Shaunte Paul. And okay, what don't she do? She's like a Jamaican. You know, she got a gabillion jobs. And but I think you probably know her most for being Turbulence Time with New World Comedy. I'm telling you, you gotta come. You gotta come to one of the shows. They're always posted on her page, and subscribe to all the wonderful things that she's doing. I think just the other day she was at the chicken coop. You never know where she might be. So if you have some food, she a foodie. She gonna be there. Testing it out. But what I love about her is that she actually has 6 children, and she is a mommy of the 6 to 2 little autistic angels. They are beauty and full. Oh my goodness, they're just the cutest little things. They're just as sweet. And when you think about Medicaid and protecting it, well, they claim they're not going to cut a whole lot. They're just going to trim some fat off the meat. Y'all see my face, right? I was told I need to work on my face. But I can't say out loud. You know, my face will speak for me about how I really feel about that. They said they really not going to cut a lot of stuff that you're still supposed to receive all of your services. Did y'all see my, oops, sorry, my eyes did my eyes do it again? They was rolling. Did my eyes roll? Okay, I'm trying to say this without my eyes rolling. So they claim that they are going to not cut services. But the way it stands, it will. How is that going to affect you and your little angels? You didn't hear me?
I would say that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I would say that it affects the kids in a lot of ways, especially those who rely on like ABA services for the autism.
Okay, so we need you, for us who don't understand those acronyms. Remember, we're in all 50 states and we're in about 10 countries. So everybody may not know what that means.
Yes. ABA is services where your autistic child can go to, and they teach them like occupational therapy or like physical therapy. And they have different ways and methods that they use to teach the child one-on-one in a one-on-one setting. And Medicaid pays for those type of services. They do. It's very expensive without it. So very expensive without it. Also, there's not a lot of relief, like respite for
Mhm.
parents with children with autism. So they do have some programs that moms can qualify for with a doctor's note, but even those are controlled by Medicaid. So if you don't have the Medicaid, you won't be able to qualify to go to those. It also affects they get a year checkup. The children get a yearly checkup that Medicaid pays for. But if they need to go for more types of treatment or analyzing, Medicaid would kick in if Medicaid's available. So those appointments can become quite pricey for multiple children. And that would affect me in a way because I would have to decide on certain bills or, cutting things here and there just to make sure they can go to those type of programs when it should just be allotted to them.
Good afternoon. And we're preaching to the choir here. We have Dr. Rataji, who is in Detroit, Michigan, and she has a son with autism. And so she definitely understands. She has one, and you have two, Lord Jesus. What does your day look like?
So both girls are on different spectrums. So the spectrum is different levels of how they function. So my 13-year-old, even though she's 13, she might not always function at a 13-year-old mindset.
Mm-hmm.
She's more of like 8 or 9, 8 or 9 type of functioning. My 11-year-old, though, she functions more at a 10 to 11-year-old, but she has limited speech. She still is dealing with limited speech. My child suffered a head concussion at her school. So I believe that kind of slowed her down a little bit more too. But they wake up at around the same time every morning. And the first thing they want to do is make noise and get into things. And children with autism, they are better when they have a regimen. It's better to have a regimen for them because if you don't, it could be catastrophic to them and their well-being even. So like they eat certain foods. They're very picky with their food. So when they eat their breakfast, they like the same thing every single morning around the same time. And they are very sensitive to like noises and lighting. So that does matter. So we got to turn the light down just a little bit more, let them just kind of diffuse their feelings the best way they know how. And uh, being on schedule is very important, as well as uh, constant reminding. It's a lot of reminding throughout the day and evening. Um, they take medication to go to sleep at night. They take trazodone. Trazodone is a medication that is prescribed by a doctor for sleep.
And of
So
course,
that's
Medicaid
pretty
pays
much,
for that as well.
yes, Medicaid does pay for that because for one child, trazodone alone for one child would be over $150 just for a 30-day supply.
So that's choosing between some dinner and a movie and medication. What is that? A hundred
Yes,
and wow. So that's $300 a
both
month because
girls
you
take
have two. And they give
yes,
them separate prescriptions, correct?
yes. So when you take trazodone or any other medication, it's based off of your weight.
Mm-hmm.
Your weight and your height does matter because they don't want to give you too much that could potentially cause harm. So they take theirs separately, but it's the same brand. Yes.
I'm putting that up there. So $150 per child. And that comes out to, that's for the month. Oh shoot. I'm trying to do some math here per child. And that comes out to $300. All right, Trazodone, $150 per child equals $300 per month. And Vertaji said that's on the low end. Vertaji, do you have a number with how much you're paying? She says it's expensive being an autism mom. What are some of the costs that you have? So we have $150. So we're going to keep track of this. So we're at $300 right now just for medication, and that's just for them to go to sleep.
Also, my daughter is incontinent. So basically, incontinency is when
Incontinence?
Incontinence, yes.
Okay.
My daughter, my 11-year-old daughter is incontinent.
So
what that means, yes, she is. So what that means is that due to her capacity of retaining the information that she would need to be able to go to the bathroom on her own, it's not what it needs to be. So Medicaid gives her pull-ons and wipes and cream every month. So if they cut that back, that means that I would be the one having to pay for that in full. But the thing is, because she's 11, her size is different than the kind that you would buy at like Myers, Walgreens, Target. They're like 5T, 6T. She can't fit those types of sizes, but she's still too small for the women's ones. So she needs the brand that they have specifically designed for kids of her size. They need to have that at the stores, and they don't. They only get it through Medicaid shipment.
Okay, so we have $300 for medication for them to go to sleep. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we're going to say thank you to Dr. Donna, who's tuning in from Washington, D.C. Our guest today, we're talking about how Medicaid is going to affect her if they make the changes. She has 2 daughters that have autism. So right now it's $300 for them just to go to sleep at night. The medication is $150 each, and they each have to have their own. Bertanji said that her son with insurance is, she said without his medication without insurance is $890 per month. So now we need to figure in how much she gets. A case of pull-ups, which is about what, 24?
So
20,
she gets
30,
a box. So in the box, they have like 6 to 7 different packs. It's like a pack. So in each pack, because of her size and her age, she only gets like 12 in one pack. So you have to times the 12 by the 6, and that's how much?
Well, 6.
By
so
6
she gets
packs.
72.
Yes.
So y'all give me a minute, and I'm gonna look up how much it costs for 72. 72 count of we're gonna say pull-ups. What size does she need?
So on the packaging that comes, it says S. It says S/M on the
Small,
packaging.
medium.
So that's for a small, medium. So the weight of that, how they got it categorized on that, is for someone 50 pounds to like 70 pounds. That's how small that is.
All right, I got them here on Amazon for $44.15 for a 72 count.
Okay.
So we got so y'all, we doing the math here. 300. That's plus 44.15. And then we need some wipes. Is it that she gets wipes?
Yeah, she gets wipes that are sent for the company in the box. But typically, they only give her 2 packs of wipes in one box. So I end up having to buy wet wipes from the regular store for her.
Okay, we got them at $8.79 a pack at CVS. And you need how many packs per month?
So for just her, I would need 3 packs just for her for the whole month.
So we have 8.79 times 3. Now, does the 14-year-old need pull-ups and wipes as well?
So she only uses them at nighttime. So she
Okay.
does get a box as well. Hers is the adult pulls on though. She wears adult pulls on.
Okay, what size is she? A medium too? Medium as well? An adult?
Yes, she is. Yes, and an
Okay,
adult. So the weight's different on that one though.
all right. But it actually costs the same amount of money. And then
Oh,
she
it
gets how
does.
many? Yeah, she gets how many packs? 1 or 2 packs of wipes?
She gets 2 packs of wipes. That's the standard amount they give each box. Just 2 packs.
So they just get 2 packs. So they're okay. And Medicaid is covering all of this. We want to say thank you so much to Cassandra for tuning in. Yay, she is a new mommy. Congratulations. I'm a new TT. We got a new baby and everything. I can't wait to see the new baby. I just will just insinuate myself in everybody's family. And we want to say hey to Taz. Taz has a son with autism as well. We had a very candid conversation about this very subject and what it costs. She talked about her ABA program as well. And then even having the respite come in the home while she's still in the home. So she doesn't have to leave, but they'll just give her an hour or two so she can at least go, Calgon, take me away. Did I get you good? She watches mine. Oh my goodness. But she's on the northeast side. So guys, I'm gonna get my trusty busty calculator. So right now we have $300 clear. We got $300 plus we got 2 boxes. So each one of the girls get a case of pull-ups. That is 44.15 times 2. All right, that's $88.30. And then we have 879 times 4, 879 times, 879 times 4. No, not 7. Ooh. Okay, that's 35.16. So we're gonna add that up. So we have $300 for medication for 2 children. Then we have 88.30 for pull-ups plus 88.30. And then we have the wipes. That's 35. We are now at $423.46. That's a third of most people's rent. So somebody gonna get shorted this month. So that's 423.46. They're at. Do you know how much the ABA services are?
I don't know how much it calculates up to for a week of that, but I do know that I have seen where they pay those ABA workers like $25 to $30 an hour just to do this. So
Okay,
I'm not sure how much.
so we're gonna say $25 an hour. We'll start about 25 because we're here in West Michigan. 25. And how many hours between the two girls do you get?
40.
40 for each, or 40 to 20, 20 each?
So like each week they would get 20 hours a week.
So that's all right. So we got 40 times 40 times 25. That's $1,000 a week. All right, we're gonna put the total, we're gonna put it up here. And it's got medication. Medication. This is what we're paying for, medication. She said, oh, Taz says that some supervisors of ABA can make $100 an hour, $99. That's $100 an hour. You could have gone and put that dollar in there. Okay, medication. I love you. Okay, medication. Pull ups.
Yeah, a supervisor, but not just a regular ABA worker.
Okay, pull ups. So medication, pull ups, and wipes. And ABA services. V-I-C. Oh, have mercy on me, Father. Who gave me a degree? 1,000. We got 1,423. And here we go. Is it on there? So are you thinking of other things that services equals? Here we go. 1,123 and 46. All right. And there's our numbers. That's just for medication, pull-ups, wipes, and ABA services. That is 1,000. But wait a minute. It's actually more than that, because, wait a minute, we didn't add in the medication, the pull-ups, and the wipes are for a month. That amount is for a month, but we have to multiply that $25, that $1,000 by 4, because it's 4 weeks in a month. We got to do that. We got to add. So that's actually 4,000. Oh my Lord Jesus. All right, y'all see that? Medication. This is just for 1 month. Okay, I'm gonna put this on here. For 1 month, for 2 autistic children. See, last week we broke down diabetes. Yeah. Oh, we got some hearts and some love. Thank you so much, y'all. Okay. For 1 month for 2 autistic children. And we have medication. Now the trazodone, that's the only medication that they take at night?
No. That's the only medication they take at night, but they also take medication in the daytime too.
Girl, well, how much is that?
I'm not sure, but it's called Risperdal.
Risperdal?
Yes.
That's like wipes and ABA services. I see you, Taz. She made a comment. I'm gonna get it in just a second. So we got the wipes and then ABA services for the month. Yeah, this is just for 1 month. So that brings our total for those items is $4,423.46. Woo! Look at that. I'll wait while y'all look at that. So I want to know, is Elon Musk and all his little friends and Trump, is they finna give everybody some stimulus checks? Because we're gonna have a bunch of homeless people. We're gonna be staying in the box so that they can have some wipes, and we might have to go back to the old days where we just got some cloth. A
I don't
loincloth.
think I don't think that they're worried about things like that because they've never had to struggle for things like that. So it's not crossing their mind like to worry about it.
I mean, when we really sit down and look at all that it takes, with healthcare and what you have to do, this is not a choice of, do I want to do it? This is what you have to do. Let's see. Taz says, oh, hey Ray, I'm gonna grab you in just a second. We have another comment up here. Where did it go? Okay. So if you get how often would you get a supervisor for ABA services?
I have never had a supervisor deal with my girls. It was always a tech. They call them a tech. If
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem that needs to be addressed, that's typically when a supervisor would step in. Mainly, the supervisors are there to oversee the techs and just make sure that they're following the rules and making sure there's no incidences with the children. That's kind of their role. But they
Okay.
don't get the kids. Their offices, making appointments, talking to parents and stuff like that. Thank you so
So
much, Shaunte's.
you are so welcome. So she just says, thank you so much, Shaunte Paul, for sharing your journey. Thanks, Dr. Kim, for your voice and platform to be heard.
Yes, autism is a journey. And if you're not ready for the journey, then you got to get out the front seat and move out the way because them types of children, they're going to keep moving no matter what you do. They don't understand about you not wanting to do or deal, or they don't care about none of that. All they know is when they have a schedule, they need their stuff on time, and that's it.
Ray, I have a question for you. So you said that your friends aren't even getting their supplies. Were they receiving supplies before, and when the cuts kind of came around? Or okay, let me fix my eyes. Okay, I'm trying. So they claim they haven't done anything. That's what they say. But once this was announced, is this when your friends' supplies stopped? Because there are some folks who have done things preemptively, you know. Like, what did she say? So this is okay. So I understand this. When the announcement was made for the cuts, your friend's caseworker preemptively made the cuts with her case and cut off her supplies. And I think she's saying that's a yes. Wow. They shouldn't be able to do that. I'm going to put this number up here. And for those of you who may just be tuning in and want to know what's happening or where we are, we're talking about the changes that they want to make to Medicaid. And we started last week with Reggie. He and I were at a roundtable discussion with our lieutenant governor, along with our congressional representative from Washington was there, a state rep was there, one of the CEOs from the largest hospital in this area from Corewell Health was on the panel, along with Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services director, and along with the entire state of Michigan's medical director was there. In fact, the medical director was the moderator for the conversation. And both of them have agreed to come on the show. We're right now working on the medical director, what's going to be the best time for her. She was totally booked for this week. One of the things that we did offer was for her to possibly re-record it earlier and maybe play it during our regular time, or if she's going to do it earlier in the day and I find out in enough time, then I'll make sure that I let everybody know that, hey, we're coming on, let's say at 2:00, and we're going to actually get to talk to the medical director of the state of Michigan for the Health and Human Services, because they have that direct, say to go in there. Look, they go tell our congressional reps, this can't happen. You need to get in there and fight a little bit harder. And I don't think that we need to hear a whole bunch of stories, because you already know the stories if you're providing the services. I
I
need you to
definitely
say
feel
something.
that I
Say
definitely
that.
feel that they're aware. I definitely feel that they're aware of the concerns. I feel that they might even hear repeated concerns,
Mm-hmm.
but yet no action really has been taken upon it. They'll tell you things like they'll bring it to the table. They're bringing things to the table, but they're not getting back to us as the consumers with the information that we need at times. We just don't seem to get it.
Well, I'm most appreciative that, after the roundtable, the two of the ladies had a lot of conversation, for me. And I told them, who I am, what I do, and invited them on. And they were both very eager to want to come on and talk about it. Uh, they have not, as of that particular roundtable, they didn't have anything that they wanted to do preemptively, or let's see what we can do in the interim. Again, we're being told that nothing has happened yet. This is something that is going to happen. Hmm. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my face fixed. But we see every day that there are changes. I mean, as soon as they made the cuts, if you will, I got a letter from the VA. And fortunately, the things that they had on that list, I don't get, but it was very disconcerting to me. But they came up with a long list of things that they're no longer going to provide. And I'm sure there are people who don't put this in their budget for the month, because, we get paid by the month with the VA. So they don't put that in their budget. And that maybe they can afford a little bit more rent in a nicer place, or maybe have, better phone service so they can dial 911. I mean, you have to think about all of that, with that money. If you're talking about we're going to have to pay extra, out of your own monies? I know a couple of folks that that had been on food stamps a very long time because they had a big family receiving, like that $1,100-$1,200 a month in food stamps, or I should say, it's not food stamps no more, it's an EBT card. Excuse me. They were getting $1,200 to $1,300 on their EBT card, and they're in a program. They needed to get a job, and when those stamps got cut in half, that EBT got cut in half because you're working now. They didn't realize that the money that they were saving from not having to pay groceries out of their pocket, well, it helped to buy a pair of shoes. You got to keep clothes on all them little people, buy coats. And so now you just can't get up and do. And maybe they ordered a pizza every now and again. I mean, they deserve to have a pizza too. Go to Chuck E. Cheese, go to Craig's Cruisers.
I feel like all these cuts that are being made, but yet we don't hear about really cuts being made to their paychecks. It seems like they're getting more money to cut families down. And my thing is, how can we ever be self-sufficient if we're not allotted to be placed in positions to have that as an option? If you have food stamps being taken or cut, that means that obviously more work's going to have to be done. More income will need to be there to take over that loss. But a lot of these jobs, they hours during a certain time of the year. They say there's too many people on the clock. It's just everybody just wants everything so fast nowadays. So it's a lot of customer service ain't what it used to be, obviously. So it's like not a lot of patience in the stores, in the grocery stores, in the restaurants. Just everybody's just fed up and they just don't care and they just ready for whatever. And it's
See, what
just
y'all
sad
need to
because
do, y'all need to have music. That's what I do. See, I roll up in the store, my little music, and everybody's like, hey. And I feel like the Pied Piper because I got all these people following me. Can I help you? What are you doing? How's it going? See, I found a way to play music. Mm-hmm. Get you a speaker, put your music on.
you gotta,
Huh?
if you can't afford it, stuff back. Like if you can't afford the food, it's embarrassing when you have to like put stuff back and you can't get everything because you thought you had enough to cover it and you really don't. And you got to ration out stuff and ration how much you're going to use for certain meals and just it's really bad. And then with the utilities on top of that, see, I pay all my utilities. I don't get child support and I don't get assistance like that. I don't. So I have to pay for everything with cash that I have. So that means I need to be out here working extra harder just to make
He
sure.
said,
And don't
everybody hustling, hustling, hustling. They
right.
hustling.
I don't mind doing it for my children because it's my responsibility as a parent to do so. But I just feel like if there's programs out there that they say they want us to use, but yet when we get in these programs, we shouldn't feel like we're a burden with that program at all.
Mm.
Without people using those programs, some of those people that have the jobs to release the funds and calculate up the funds, they wouldn't even have a job. They just wouldn't. So you never know when you might need
That's why
a
I don't
program.
go through the self checkout.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, I love self checkout. It makes me realize what I really can get and what I ain't gonna get.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I use it. Reality check. Hey, you got way too much over there. You already knew before you came in here you was on a budget. So let's get back to the budget.
see, I
Yeah.
like to make sure that everybody stays employed because when I go in, I make friends with everybody. And every time I come in, I want to see you. So if you're not bagging my groceries, then I'm not going to see you because, if I go to the self checkout, because they'll say, you know what, we don't need her. It Ray says, is this a new comment, Ray? No. Yep, she says she's a mother. Okay, come on, show. Okay, I'm a mother of a child with special needs as well, so I understand. Ray, what does your baby have? Do you have a list? You see, we had our list here, a little bit of one, and it came up to over $4,400 per month that Medicaid is taking care of. It was one of the things that I was really upset about in the room was they were more concerned about them not receiving the funding and having to get rid of staff instead of saying, hey, what if Shaunte needs to come in here with the babies? There's no way she could pay for a specialist, but y'all was getting a check for the specialist anyway. Anyway. But that was what the concern was in the room. And I just said I had to sit like this the whole time to keep my jaw from falling down like this.
See, as a parent with special needs children, and I speak this from the bottom of my heart to all the parents that are watching this and that will be watching this. When we take our children to school one day and a social worker all of a sudden says they noticed something different about our child, your child needs to be tested. You're already kind of scared as a parent to see what is this, because I don't know what's going on. And next thing you know, they're pushing you through all these different people, and then they're giving you a diagnosis. And then after the diagnosis, they're telling you your child qualifies for these programs and they need to be a part of these programs. ASD classrooms, that's autism spectrum disorder classrooms. They're telling you in the IEP what needs to happen for your child to be able to go to school and qualify for this and qualify for that. So you're already hit with a ton of information, a ton of mixed feelings, because it's like, why is my kid this way? Like, what happened? Then when you get to the school, there's not enough teachers in the classroom. So then you're feeling like your child is a burden because you're pushing your child in a classroom with so many kids with disability. Then you got to deal with DHS, that's the Department of Human Services, who's telling you, oh, yeah, you qualify for food stamps. You qualify for Medicaid. You should just sign up for it. So they try to encourage you to sign up for these services. But when you sign up for them, you have to report every single change. Anything goes wrong, they're trying to charge you back for it. You're not in compliance if you're not giving them certain information. It's so overwhelming as a parent to want to be there for your children, want to supply everything they need, and you're falling short in certain areas because the rent's way too high right now. You got to pay insurance, utilities, plus buy clothes for your child, making sure that they're well. Some kids have different medications that's not even about autism, just asthma, skin conditions. I mean, it's just so much that's going on. I just wonder, why would they want to keep increasing the anxiety, the trauma? Because a lot of parents go through trauma with this, worrying about how their kid's going to eat the next day, worrying about being in a shelter, or worrying about if they don't have their medication, how will this child act? Because see, once they put the children on the medication, they inform you to not take them off abruptly. But if you don't have enough money or you don't even have the Medicaid to pay for it, then the child is still jeopardized in a way. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
just a lot of confusion. And I really wish that they would think more about the children the way they say they do, and really work with the families and help ensure, that they won't lose their home or lose their Medicaid. And if you don't fill out the paperwork right, they'll just cut you right off of your Medicaid. And you got to reinstate and start all over again. They got so many caseworkers that are overloaded with cases. Sometimes you don't even know who your caseworker is. They just keep switching you from person to person. They even got it now where they just want you to do everything online. So if you don't have internet services or a proper phone, you still need help in person. And it's just long appointments. It's just overwhelming.
Wow. Ray says, 5 years ago, my insurance paid for the seating system I needed. And this year, when I applied for the new chair, I was told they do not cover it anymore. Oh, wow. So are we talking about a wheelchair, Ray? Hey, Deanna Crawford is watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ray, let us know where you're watching from. You know, I talked about it, I think, when we first came back on May 7th on our 5-year anniversary, that I needed 2 new wheelchairs, a manual and a motorized. And you see, I'm in my new manual. And I mean, no, this is my new motorized. I'm sorry, excuse me. And when I asked, how much it was, so I think everybody knows that I'm a veteran. Oh, Ray is in Delaware. Hey, Delaware in the house. All right now. We got Delaware in the house today. Thank you so much for tuning in, Ray, all the way from Delaware. So she was saying, yes, she is in a wheelchair. So yes, I did. I went to the seating clinic and it was very, very nice. I just went in January and they got a new manual and a new motorized, because the way the VA works is every 5 years, you're supposed to get new durable equipment. So anything that you have, whether it's your asthma machine, what else? If you have a PAP, a CPAP, if you have a scale, if you have blood pressure cuff, those kind of things, they'll replace them every 5 years, like clockwork. I mean, it's like clockwork. And when I looked at this new chair, as I got to sit, they built both of them the way that I wanted. So the manual chair, they showed me maybe about 5 or 6 different models. And if y'all want the video, is on YouTube under 100 Shades of Diversibility, and it says Dr. Kimberly's Bentley is total. So that was my manual. My motorized wheelchair was a Bentley. This one that I have, that I'm sitting in now, is a Rolls Royce. And the rep who was there from the actual company, because Sun Medical makes this particular chair, they get it made in Australia. And the choices that I got, because I do have, it's I want to call it a cross train, what you got? All-terrain, that's what it's called. I have an all-terrain chair this time. And then, so that's a cost. And then I chose to get like a car seat. Y'all see that? That looks like a headrest for a car, don't it? I know. And my seat is made, like a car, like a regular car seat. So it's got the leather seating at the bottom and then with the cloth at the top. And then it has all these extra little features. And I said to him, how much is that chair retail? He said about 45 grand. I just said, oh. And he said, and just so you know, he said, most insurance companies, you have to write a justification as to why you would need that particular chair, because they're going to put you in the cheapest chair. And he goes, and a lot of them will charge you a copay. So I can't even imagine those that would need, like a quadriplegic would need this type of chair that I have. And then it's got all of the control, everything where I can control from my controller over here on the right side. So you can add in a TV, you can add your phone on here, and a few other niceties that you can include. And they program it. So when they bring it to you, they program all of that in your little toggle switch here. And he said, there are so many people who need this one in particular, but the insurance won't pay. and then how it affects the person's body when you don't have the right wheelchair. So I definitely am. They get on my nerves sometimes, but the VA, I have to give them they thumbs up though. They went all the
Yeah,
way out.
there's
Hmm.
Medicaid part, there's Medicaid Part B
Hmm.
and Medicaid Part C.
Hmm.
And for those who are watching, if your child receives SSI, Social Security benefits, for one while they were taking money out of the amount that your child gets a month and putting it towards that type of a plan, allegedly for medication cost or anything extra that you would need. But then
Hmm.
they stop it, and then they take it away. So what they do is they'll give it to you and say you qualify for Part B or C, and then all of a sudden they're telling you in a letter how much they're taking out of the check to cover that plan for your child. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they'll send you another letter and say, okay, they don't have to be a part of that anymore. We're going to give you back the full amount. This is what it is. And then next thing you know, you're responsible for all of these bigger co-pays, and they just come out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, why you just didn't keep it the way you had it the first time and let it cover it completely, instead of me having to always pay all these co-pays? And sometimes you're not prepared for what the copay might be. You might be
Hmm.
thinking it's only going to like less than a certain amount, and they'll hit you with, okay, and your copay today is $100. And you're like, oh, I might not have all that at that exact moment. Oh, well, then we can't give it to you. So it's kind of like that. Then they used to have where you can get certain medications free at Myers Pharmacy, for example, like amoxicillin for children who would have ear infections and different things. They took that away. They took it away. Like certain ibuprofens and certain medications, if you go there, all you have to do is just bring that prescription in and they would cover. They don't do that anymore. And they used to let you use these cards where you get like a certain discount off of the purchase if you don't have insurance. Some of those aren't even working now. So it's just very expensive, and it just feels bad when you have a condition or your child has a condition to where you need it, but you can't do nothing about it. You just got to figure out, how can I get this? You know,
We want to say thank you to KH Green, who is watching. Today, we're talking, this is part two, and we're talking about the effects of these proposed cuts to Medicaid and the families and how they'll be affected. And we have, we can go back up here. Our guest today is Shaunte Paul, and she has two daughters that are autistic. And we came up with it's $4,423.46 just for them to have their medications. Now, this is just for medications, to have some pull ups because they're incontinent. They are 11 and 14. They get wipes, and for them to have their ABA therapy, which is 20 hours a week per child, and it's $1,000 per week for them, for the two of them to have those 40 hours. And we have Ray has a comment. She is all the way in Delaware. Woohoo! She says, my copay for the chair in order to get the seating, at first they said that it was $1,500. Then it ended up being $2,000. Oh my God. She says, and honestly, I don't know what to do just yet. Well, who's over there in Delaware that we can sell some chicken denters? We could fire up some chicken now. I'll get
I think
Pat because
I think it's really misleading for them to tell her one price at first and then hit her with an even higher price after the fact. Um, that's definitely a blow. I'm really sorry that you're having to experience that, and I'm just praying that some way they can work out something with you to where they can knock that copay down. It's got to be something that they can do.
that's somebody's house note.
Yeah, that's a month of rent.
It really is. That's a lot. And
Yeah.
where is
Mm.
that supposed to come from? Oh, right. Lee Montgomery says, "Hello, Dr. K. This is awesome information that you are sharing with the people, and a special thank you to Shaunte for sharing her story, whom is a very proud and strong young woman. My prayers go out to her and any other parent who are dealing with this problem with with our government. A lot of things nowadays we don't have any control of. We just have to pray. And as a senior, I will also be impacted with these cuts." There we go, Mr.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lee Montgomery. Um, I used to be on Medicaid. I take blood thinners twice a day, and so those can become quite costly. And it seems like they keep cutting me off and on and off and on, and they know that I need these particular pills because it's, life threatening without them, but yet they still will cut my insurance and make me have to do things to try to get back on just to get the pills. So I definitely understand what you mean when you say by you being a senior, it will affect you as well. It's a lot of seniors who rely on asthma medications and different things, and it's like, what are they supposed to do? Just not have the medication because they can't afford it? Like, something has to be rectified so that families, seniors, children, disabled children can still receive the medications they need to keep them here. Like, if certain pills, if you stop taking them, can be catastrophic for your life. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, KH Green. Where are you tuning in from, Green? And Mr. Montgomery, where are you tuning in from? If you would let us know, we greatly appreciate it. Uh, when I think about just the devastation that this would cause, and where do they expect the people to go? What do they expect them to do? KH Green, she is in Livonia, Michigan. All right. And for all you people
oh,
who are not in Michigan, okay, here we go. She's over this way, and we're over this way. I'm just I'm not gonna cry this week. I cried last week when I just talked about even if you're diabetic, all the little pieces that it takes. I have a sensor that I wear. So if you wear the sensor, you gotta have the reader. I just had to contact. Oh, Paige Green says that she is an ADA coordinator, retired, and she's an ADA advocate. Well, we need you. Come on board and have a conversation. And then Lee Montgomery is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thank you guys. Appreciate
mm.
you so much for tuning in and you know participating in the
I,
conversation.
I don't think
I
it's right that the doctor prescribe all these pills and medicines for us to take, and then we finally oblige and we get on this regimen, and we're so used to the regimen, and now it's being interfered with this. So now it's like, okay, wait a minute now. You told me if I don't take this, this is going to happen to me.
and
These
now I can't
people,
take it.
these people that are making the decisions, why are they not seeing that part?
Well, I don't know. I want to say thank you so much to Artie Franklin. We know he's in the greater Grand Rapids area. Thank you so much, Artie Franklin, for tuning in on today. Uh, Green, if you want to comment, weigh in on this, as an advocate, your thoughts on it. She says medical system trauma. Absolutely, it is traumatic. It is extremely traumatic to navigate it on top of whatever your disc is or your child's disc. And if you didn't have a disc before this all got before all this got started. You're going Oh, thank you. All right, Karen. But she's not that Karen. She's the other Karen. She's the nice Karen. Yep, that's Karen. Artie says, "What's up, Doc? I'm working, trying to, use the platform that I have to educate, to inform, and see what we can do. How can we pull together? Uh, and I'm really excited to really have that one-on-one. I mean, we started the conversation with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, with the director and the medical director, started that conversation, but to be able to have them here on this platform and you can ask them directly, what are you thinking about? She said, Canada? Well, yes, there are people who are moving to Canada because everybody there gets health care. Everybody there gets health care.
So that's all it takes is for us to just move away to get health care? That's what we need to do?
Yeah,
Overpopulate Canada, huh? Overpopulate Canada. So then
that's
they'll be trying to back over here.
that's exactly what'll end up happening.
Pretty
She said they go over
much.
there to, she said they go over there to get meds. So what you really could do, I'm not telling nobody to do this because I don't know how ethical it is, but you know how y'all do that for school. You use your grandmama address so your kids can go to the school you want them to go to, and the mail go over there. You just go pick it up every other day. And your kids be happy because they know they're getting a letter from the teacher because they ain't been doing their work, but they know it's gonna take you 3 days before you get over there. So they done already came up with the lie. Yeah, I went there like that. Because I know how that work. Because my brother used to do it. But I'm not telling nobody to do this. I'm just saying you really could. You go over there, you make some friends, you give them $2 and say, hey, look, Linda, listen. I'd be like, what's the lady? Auntie Pam. Who this? This Moses? This Auntie Pam. Oh, child, I'm just walking on sunshine. Listen, I'm gonna need to use your address. Look. She said, yes, I did. A lot of people were doing this for EpiPens and diabetes. I'm only oh, I know you only commenting. I got some diabetical supplies and some pull-ups and some wipes that come on the regular that I don't gotta pay for. I'm just saying. Just y'all see my face? Oh, anyway. Um, so all
Then
I'm
if you don't
saying,
prescription, they'll put it back too, by the way, everybody that's watching. So if you have a prescription that's on file and you can't get it out because you don't have the copay or you don't have the money to actually pay for it, they'll leave it on there for like 7 days. And then after that, they put it back on the shelf. And so then it's even more so harder for you to go back in and re-get it if they don't have it. Or they have to send you to another location. And just they got to call the doctor to verify if you still taking it. It just, it's a lot behind this.
well, I got a lot to have a discussion with because I done talked to a few people, behind the scenes, and with last week, this week, and those that continue to come out of the woodworks and like, can I talk to you? Okay. Well, come on the show? No. But I'll tell you, you can talk about it. You know, um, and she says, what about using GoodRx and Needy Meds? Now, I've done GoodRx before. They're really good. I never heard about Needy Meds. In fact, I think before I was 100%, I think my social worker was the one who gave me the card and helped me to sign up for GoodRx. to get some of the meds that I needed that were considered specialty meds that the VA said, no, we're not paying for that. But once I got 100%, it's like, oh, what do you need? Sure. I'm like, mm-hmm. But seriously, so you just go over there, put a utility, say, look, I'll give you some money for the lights, put them lights in your name, because you got to have at least one utility in your name for you to be a resident someplace. She said, Needy Meds was created by 3 medical social workers in 2000. Oh, okay. I'm going to write this down. NEEDMEDS. All right. I'm going to look that up, and then we'll post it on the page within the next 24 hours, because when I get off, I'm going to need to take a little nap. I'm tired. And my throat hurt.
Rain, go away. It's raining.
I know the rain just really bothers my body.
Yep, made my kneecaps hurt. My right knee.
She said it's a list of drug manufacturers, and you can get free samples or reduced costs. Oh, now you do know that with your civilian doctor, that they can almost give you a 30-day supply, because they get all of these samples from the manufacturers, and they could hook you up if that's what they want to do. Because I know when I had to go to this civilian optometrist, they gave me this medication, and they're like, oh, we can get this to you. And I had to go twice in that week, and every time I went, they gave me some. And then I took it back. I said, do we carry this in the VA system? They're like, we can get you a prescription. We'll do a prescription real quick. So I said, ooh, thank you, Jesus. I was like, I thought I was going to have to, come out of pocket or something. But they do. You are correct that they had this cute little closet that they send them the nurses to. And they come back with a bag like you at Planned Parenthood. Y'all remember them bags? From Planned Parenthood. She says, same thing, but you fill out this form, the doctor signs it, and each company, their qualifications differ. Well, all right. So you're going to put that together and send that to me, Karen, Miss Karen Green, so I could give it to the people. Thank you so kindly. See, that's what we do around here. We help each other out. And that's
Even
really...
the generic medications, even the generic brands of the medications can be kind of costly too sometimes. It don't even be the real deal, and they still charging you half of what the original is. And that's like mind-blowing to me.
All right. What is Karen? You want me to send you the link? Girl, just come on here and just talk. She said, go to needymeds.com. All right. She gonna make me
Isn't that where you still would need a prescription from your doctor, though? They still would need to send one in for that, correct? At needy.com? Because I've been seeing a rising of different internet places all of a sudden where they say you don't have to see a doctor in person to get this prescription or get that prescription, but you still have to have a doctor sign off on these medications, even though
absolutely.
you might.
She did. She said, you fill out the form that the doctor signs, and each company, will tell you what the qualifications are. But she did state that. Okay, here we go. And there it is. See, you fill out the forms and mail it in or fax it.
Okay. I don't know if anybody else knows, but Amazon.com, they also have a medication section on Amazon. And if you upload your prescription, they can send you the pills at a different price as well. I just found.
Now, I told y'all I was going to take a nap, and y'all just going to make me work when I get off of here. All right, there. Boom. Amazon has a medication filling service. We're going to write that down too.
Yes, they do. Free shipping if you're an Amazon member, if you're Amazon Prime.
So you got to pay for something somewhere already.
Yeah, basically you pay the Prime services, but the good thing is it's not only just for medication. You can use it for all kind of other stuff you might need online. So yeah, they're getting paid some way. Yeah, you're right.
So here we go. She says, yes, but Amazon is part of the tech bros who are challenging our freedom and support. What? And supports Trump's cuts to Medicaid. You was in the board meeting, Karen. How you know? You was in the board meeting.
So I can't necessarily speak and attest that about Amazon because I didn't hear that about them, but I do know for sure that a lot of these companies, Pfizer, uh, big companies are siding with Trump anyways. So I'm just saying, if you got a prescription and you're unable to get out of your home and you have Amazon Prime by any chance, whatever you need, you can try to get it that way and it can be delivered to your door. That would just save you an extra trip from having to go out in the community if you're not able. But yeah, a lot of these stores, a lot of these companies feel the way he feels, and so it's really misfortunate. It's really misfortunate.
I don't think that Elon Musk shops at the Target. I don't think that he is shopping on Amazon.
You don't think
So
so at all? Not even for nothing? Because there's so many things you can get on Amazon, like a lot of things.
oh, I know.
So
I got a few things from the Amazon.
I
But
love Amazon.
I want to say, you know what? The time is now 5:11. We've had so much information. I have it all written down right here that I'm going to share with you guys if you did not catch it, and even give you that dollar amount that we came up with, that $4,423.46. That was just for diapers, wipes, and medication. That was it. Nothing else. Oh, and little babysitting services, babysitter, because that's what they do. They come to babysit.
They come to babysit, yeah, and they get paid really nice for it.
They can pay some. Oh Lord, she wrote a novel. So Karen is apologizing on TV. She said she was misinformed. She said Amazon is actually expanding support for Medicaid beneficiaries, not cutting it. They offer Amazon Prime at a reduced rate of $5.99 per month for eligible Medicaid candidates. This Prime Access program provides access to all Prime benefits of a lower cost. Here's a more detailed look. Amazon Prime discount. Individuals with a valid Medicaid card can get Prime membership for $5.99 per month, a significant savings of $7 per month compared to the regular price.
Well, thank you so much for your information. It's very vital.
Karen,
Yes,
what are you
Karen.
doing tomorrow? Because I have a show tomorrow. I'm gonna need you to come in and just $5.99 Amazon Prime with valid Medicaid card. All right, I got it down. I'll just send all this over to Karen and make her do it and post it for me. Yes. Take away from my name.
Spreadsheet. She can do a spreadsheet for us.
I'm just saying all of these wonderful services. Thank you. We appreciate what you had to bring to the show today. See, this is what it's all about. I'm glad that we went a few minutes over. If you want to watch the replay, you can see the replay on YouTube at 100 Shades of Diversibility. You can't miss that big old purple chick with the, look like she got eyelashes and butterflies. She do. That's me. And it also, if you are in the Kent County area, you can watch the replay on GRTV, cable channel 25. It will air this show will air 3 times: Monday at 2, Tuesday at 6, and Thursday at 8. This particular show. And then tomorrow's show will air the following week. So you get to see that on GRTV 25. I am excited. Many of you from the Kent County area have been in solidarity. A cop, of course, a Caucasianer cop killed a Black motorist on a routine stop. And the trial ended last week in a mistrial. And so one of our county commissioners, who has been with the family from day one, Robert Womack, will be here on tomorrow to talk about what's going on and what they plan on doing as the family. So y'all need to tune in. It's gonna be good. I want to hear Karen. What you doing? I want to hear your comments, Karen. Yes.
Also, if there's any more parents that's on here that have children that do have children with autism, my daughters Alana and Alante, we have a page on Facebook called Alana's and Alante's Autistic Angels.
Really? She gonna add some more. Okay, guys, I will have that after the show. I'm gonna
share about their autistic journey on that page. They can.
And also, Dr. Bertaggi has Hezekiah's. She said, let's connect offline individuals accessible. What? Indivisible. That's a part of the Access Livonian now. Let's see. ACCESSLIVONIA. Oops, that ran into something else. Doggone it. Now dot 54. All right, we're gonna put that up there. I thought she was saying indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Access.
Thank you so much, KH Green. Thank you for everyone who chimed in tonight and, just time to listen to my journey with Dr. Kimberly Barrington.
Oh, we appreciate you. Okay, guys, y'all gave me some homework to do, but tune in tomorrow. Robert, it's been a while since he's been on the show. Actually, he came on, it's been almost 5 years ago, because it was when George Floyd had just been killed by the police. And it was such an emotional show. I was like, I wasn't the only one crying that day. We had to stop and take a break because I was in tears. Robert was in tears. And then we came back, all snot and eyes red, just from, what is she saying? Just reliving our experiences. Yeah, just reliving our experiences, and to think that here in the 21st century, that some of the things that our ancestors experienced, in the 50s, the 60s, that we're experiencing it in the 2000s. And then here we go again, 5 years later, we have another case. So please tune in on tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very good, probably a heated discussion because there was just a meeting last week, a community meeting concerning it. And oh, yeah. And he mentioned Brianna, they had a no knock warrant and she got shot. Sure did, and died.
Yes.
Yep. You are so correct. And let's see, they're hosting a disability pride march. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna write this down. Disability pride march, July 26th. All right. That's also around the 88 time as well. I'll get more details from you, Karen, so I can put that on the list for resources or things that we talked about on today. Well, I want to say thank you so much. I'm not going to say goodbye, but we're just going to say put a not a period, but a comma, and we will see you on tomorrow at 4 p.m. And also, I will post the YouTube so that you can share it with other people and you can see some of the resources that we talked about here. And some of the moms with autism, there is a new collaborative group that is coming, and we're going to actually meet at my office. My office is at 160 68th Street in the new Inclusion Center for what do they call Special Olympics.
Yay.
It is the only one like it in the globe. No place like it. And I am the only African American who is an executive director in that building of their own nonprofit. So, woohoo! We're doing some things. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but we are. We got folks who are troubling the water. We definitely are troubling the water, and we're trying to save as many people. We're coming through with the boat. Try to save as many, get them in. But we cannot, as a people, poke a hole in our own boat and sink us. All right. So we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow. Again, this is a comma and not a period. And I appreciate y'all. I expect you are so welcome, Lee Montgomery. You are so welcome. Karen, I expect you to be on here tomorrow now. I'm telling you what the show's about. So have your resources, get them to me. Don't be trying to make me read and write at the same time. Trying to chew bubble gum and walk. All right, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye-bye.